Oh yeah. Oh. Tarantino. Check out those moves. Oh god, I've got a bit funny. Hang on. Oh yeah, we're having a bit of a Northern Soul day today. Let me just adjust the camera. So, after I said that I wasn't going to do rimfire silencers, you know, from the last film, it's been a lot of material. You know, I've got a lot of heat to soak up, and I have to have one silencer that would do the job for both a long barrel, which would be all the you know, propellant being burnt, and a short barrel, which would only be like 3/4 propellant being burnt. I don't know actually. It's just rimfire. Man, I haven't messed with brass for so long, and when I did, it was big brass, you know. So this is how we got to do it, right? The length is going to be 200mm. I'm not going to do anything past this, not with a 1/2 inch UNF thread. 1/2 inch UNF thread is just the worst fucking thread you can use for a silencer, right? It's a Victorian steam pipe thread, for Christ's sake. And it's like this. There's so much gap between each peak and trough that when you screw your silencer onto an air gun, you actually have to have an O-ring to take up the play between the threads. Now, normally what I would do is get the gun sent over, or customer come with gun, and then we'd re-tap the thread on his barrel, still 1/2 inch UNF, but we'd make it longer, so he's got 1 inch of thread. That way we've got more physical contact to hold the silencer in place. Now, with a centerfire, what we would do is we'd have a metal collar you could screw up to the silencer. On an air gun, of course, we have a rubber O-ring that you know, takes up that slack. I don't know what we can do with a rimfire. It's going to be experimental. I'm thinking wave washers, but I don't know how we get the wave washers over the thread. Or it's going to be silicone, good old high temperature silicone. So, this is the size of the silencer, right? But straight carbon fibre I can't use with a detonating powder or a hot propellant. Even though this is vacuum formed and it's bloody tough, in the end, the expansive gases inside would work its way through the weave in the carbon, right? So what I then have to do, I've just turned this down to fit. I'm then going to use an aluminium liner. Don't worry about it sticking out the ends. We're going to turn that off before anybody leaves any comments. Alright, I'm way in front of you. So now, this is going to be our liner. So this is going to stop any heat or anything getting to the carbon fibre. But now you're all jumping up and down, God, that's not really carbon fibre silencer anymore, is it? Well, it is. Right, because the carbon fibre will kill the harmonics from the aluminium. Now, to kill the harmonics even further, I can use carbon fibre inside as my chamber spacers. Did you get that? Yeah? These are going to be my chamber spacers for each of the air strippers. Now, I already hear you going, but you just said carbon fibre, the old gas that go through the weave. This is going to be captive against the alloy. So it's not going to be able to expand. So gas won't pass through it because it's got nowhere to go. You ever done the £10 note trick on your hand, tried to burn a hole through it with a cigarette and it doesn't work? It's the same principle, right? Thermal dynamics, not hydrothermal dynamics, right? So that's that one. These are our chamber spacers. They're of various different sizes, because I'm going to do the strippable, having not done a rimfire silencer before. This is a bit of an experiment, this one, you see. Each one of these would have an air stripper in between it, right? Or a gas stripper between it, in this case. I've still probably got another couple of these to make, plus the first two I want to do quite big. I'm still messing around with what kind of system I'm going to have inside to do the air stripping. I don't think washers are going to cut it. I can't use rubber because it'll melt. Not too sure yet. I might actually have to machine the first couple of strippers, then we can go on to washers once the main energy has been sucked out of the gas, that main up. You know, rim fires, you know, it's a little bullet, man. They've got really, really high chamber pressures. Don't underestimate the chamber pressure on a rim fire. It will catch you out every single time, seriously. What I've got to do now is make my plugs to go in the end, get this to size, and bombs away. Here we go. Obviously, once I've got my pieces in the end, I will be pinning them in place. Don't know if this is going to be a strippable one yet, or it's going to be pre-set and bonded. I don't know how my bonding material would be affected by the heat from the rounds. Lots of unknowns for me, plus what's going to be, what kind of residue is going to be left by the propellant. Is it going to be an acidic residue? It's all experimental, man. I'm really in I'm in uncharted territory because I've never done it this way, right? So you know, failing that, we're just screwing an oil filter on the end. Yeah, baby. I'll see you later, bud. Ta-da. Bye-bye. Oh, hang on. Let's get that tune back on. I'm going to dance you out. I love my DAT. Yeah, baby. See you later. Ta-da. Oh, it's early. It's too bloody early. James 8, 200mm. Following on from the video yesterday, I've had to make each air stripper individually. And even though that's 200mm, there's 400mm carbon fibre in there. So there's another carbon fibre liner inside, which is the chamber or air splitter separator, right? Now, the first air splitters or shredders, whatever you want to call them, are unidirectional. They're reverse Venturi, right? So it slows the gas down before it hits the other chambers. Then I had to turn aluminium washers 7mm, right? Because of the length of the silencer. There's also two stainless steel plain 7mm in there. You've got about, I've lost count. There's about 10 chambers in there, right? So what I've got to do is the end cap. I'll do the end cap so it's screwed on, okay? So I've got to find some black countersunk screws from somewhere. I'll probably do them in 1032 because it's probably something I've got. And then again, if I do them in black, they go rusty. They have to be stainless steel, mate. Sorry. And of course, I haven't got stainless steel in black because it's stainless steel. So you can't black it. At least I don't think you can. I want to get this done and out. Now we said 65, right? Alright, I'm going to stick with 65 for this, right? Because that's the price I gave you. But I think if I do these in the future, because the amount of work that's in here and high-end materials, I think we're going to be looking at 80 quid, right? And this is a centre fire quality silencer, and I've been doing the internet today. 255 quid for a centre fire silencer, man. What's that all about? Anyway, I should have this done over the next couple of days. I do have a project for somebody else I've got to get on with that I've been lapsed and his parts have just turned up, so I've got to get half his project done, or the donkey work as I call it. So chaps, until later on, I'll see ya.